too dark to do anything.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah. Like, I ended up, I lit a candle just so I had sunlight
Hmm.
and kind of sat and thought about stuff for a while. Just because it's like, if you can't entertain yourself for 40, 45 minutes, then there's something wrong with you. So, yeah. But then when it was over, I was like, oh, thank God. All right, now it's time to play some games because I need something.
Let's get back on that fucking computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh god, 2 months ago now. Yeah, it was during Halloween. Be right there finishing dungeon. Just have to kill a couple more trash. Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
it was Halloween, and in her class they showed a Goosebumps movie, and
Oh,
in the movie, or I don't know if it was a movie or an episode of the show or whatever. Uh,
it's probably the movie
Probably they had.
with Jack Black.
I don't know, but somebody broke into somebody's house at night. And so ever since then, whenever the power goes out, my daughter is like super afraid that somebody's gonna break into our house because it's dark.
Oh, well, they could break into your house at any time.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
called a home invasion.
I know. But I had to be like, they're probably not gonna break into our house when we're home, and they're probably not gonna break into our house because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, how's things?
Well, that's fine. I'm just tired. I was in the middle of an episode of, well, not even in the middle of an episode. I was at very nearly the end of an episode of The Boys, and so I was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta wait.
Yeah, that's a show that like I feel like the comic book was cool when it came out, and it was counterculture and all that kind of stuff when it came out, and it got to be the point where like that kind of, what if superheroes were like real, what if real people like, what what would real people be like if they got superpowers, right? And like just taking it to the dark grim, the grim dark extreme, that got passe in comics pretty quick. And then like 8 years later, they made the show, and it's like I'm from reading comics, I am done with this as a genre before the show even comes out. Like I'm just
Trust me,
tired of it.
Yeah.
trust me, because I that was one of the things that kept me from watching it for so long. The Boys, by the way, Brian, hello, that's what we're talking about here. That, like, what if the good guys were actually the bad guys? Made me kind of like, I'll give it a pass. I've seen that many many times. But what really sold me on it was when the for your consideration campaign for what's it, season 4? That's the most recent one. Yeah, it's either season 4 or season 5, but I think it's season 4. The for your consideration campaign for season 4 is predicated on all the negative reviews it got from people on the right wing saying that the show was a betrayal and it's taken a turn straight into communism and all that kind of stuff. And now that I'm halfway, I think I'm actually right at the halfway mark, halfway through season 3, I honestly don't know how any of those right wing chuds could have missed that they are the joke
Yeah.
this entire time. Like, it's a lot better because, like, I never read the comics. I'm not really a Garth Ennis fan, but I really like that they've updated it so that it is a clear parallel to the 2020s. Like, clear parallel. Like, Homelander starts off wanting to be loved like a certain shitty ass president that we had, and then when he's rejected, that's when he just starts playing on grievance. I mean, he already was playing on grievance, but now he's just open and nakedly open about it and everything. And yeah, no, I don't know. It's really interesting. Like, there's a really good line. in season 2, like towards the end of season 2, where they're just like, well, what do we do now? Like, I mean, we can't just not do anything. You know what I mean? Like, we could just live a normal life while this is going on. It's interesting. I like it a lot. And Aya Cash, she's in season 2 as a heroine named Stormfront, a website that you might remember. And it's like, it's not even subtle. Like, that's the thing that I really like about it. This show is not subtle at all, and that's why I'm like, how did you guys think that? But she's real. Like, Aya Cash is just a really charismatic actress and very funny comedian too. But mostly now she does acting, and so she does a really good job.
She's the one who's spoilers. She's the one who turns out to be a literal Nazi, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the first. I think I saw the first couple. I watched up to the first few episodes of that season, I think.
Yeah,
and I just like I'm really interested when like movies and TV differ from the written medium, and I'm interested in what changes they make and why, and whether it's just for the medium or if they're updating the story and how the update plays. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, it wasn't like the book, it was shit. Like, no, please don't make the book. Like, I've read the book.
Right, yeah.
I've read the book, it's fine. I've got that story. You can use that as inspiration and make a new story, and I'm cool with that. Like, it does not have to be the same. So, like, when they differed, like, okay, maybe I'll check and see how it's different, right? But, like, the difference was, like, commentary on current political... I don't want that either. I mean, I get how it's interesting. I don't want that right now.
I see. That's why one of the reasons that I like it, without getting too much into the commentary, is that it is very much like, no, we have a responsibility to resist this guy. You know what I mean? And like how easy it is for some people to just go along with it and to profit by it and whatever. And yeah, it's interesting. I enjoy it. And sometimes it's very funny. And what's his name? Jack Quaid is. Well, first of all, Jack Quaid's name sounds made up. That's one of the things that I like the most about Jack Quaid. But no, that's his real government name.
Plus
he's good.
Fucking Boimler now in my mind.
Yeah. Oh, the last episode was last night.
I know. I haven't seen the last two. I'm waiting for my wife to get home. We're gonna watch them.
It was really good. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that the series was going to be ending until like they had already made most of the episodes, and so all they could really do was alter a couple things here and there. So it's more of a season finale, and then they're like, let's turn it into a series finale. Whatever. It finished in a way that I like. I like Lower Decks a lot.
Yeah, that one's there's some push to bring that one back, like there was for Prodigy, but I don't know.
Yeah, Prodigy's good. Oh shoot, that's what I mean to do tomorrow. So I watched the first half of the second season of Prodigy and really liked it, but then lost track and just stopped. And then I realized I need to finish it by the end of the year because end of year view counts is what matters. So I've just been having it on in the background with the volume down so that I can watch it for real later on. Yeah, I just need to get back onto that because I think I got like another 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to get down. I'll have to watch that with my wife too. She was quasi interested, but I think because it starts out so far from Starfleet, and like it starts out where the storytelling is not anywhere near a story, and then moves towards it, and it's just like it took too many episodes for it to join the rest of the universe, for her to really get it.
What I liked about it. So I watched the first season. As it was airing, I thought, this is pretty good. All right, whatever, I like it. And then when it was over, and it came to Netflix, I watched it a second time, just like back to back to back to back instead of one episode a week. And I was like, it goes at a really steady clip, and especially knowing the ending and all that kind of stuff of season 1. Knowing where it was going, I was like, okay, I can see what they were doing now, trying to create a series for people who, like, it's something that Star Trek fans can enjoy, but it's not meant for Star Trek fans. It's meant to be, this is your introduction to Star Trek. So they start you off following these people who have no idea what it is, they're just doing their own thing out in the Delta Quad, and or are they in the Delta Quadrant? Or
Yeah, they're,
whatever.
they're in the D quad.
Yeah. So it starts you off in the Delta Quadrant, and they're just doing their thing, being enslaved, and they find this ship, and they go on an adventure, and they learn what Starfleet means, and then they encounter Starfleet, and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, yeah, that was a really well done way of getting people into it. I thought so. Yeah,
Maybe
it's
we'll
a
do
good show.
that.
I
Like,
liked it.
we've been talking about introducing Star Trek to my kids because they're old enough to sit through an episode for one, and the older one is old enough to like, very surface level talk about some of the themes and like the moral, the philosophical moral questions it brings up, right? Like, should Data be considered a person? Right.
Oh, that's funny when you say the older one. I
That
was
one's
like,
obvious.
I was trying to figure out if you meant next generation or
Oh yeah, definitely next gen.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna do TOS. TOS is like slow for my wife and I to watch an episode. Some of those episodes
yeah,
are real fucking slow. And so there's no way a modern 9-year-old is going to sit through a contemporary 9-year-old.
yeah.
It's just not going to happen. But maybe we'll do Prodigy instead, because the first season of TNG is rough.
Bad.
Yeah, and then like the good episodes of season 2 kind of assume a certain amount of understanding of the crew, at least.
Yeah,
And so I kind of want to start with episode 1 because there's great character introductions there, but you know the stuff happening at Farpoint is one thing, but then like the Borg are kind of scary, and I don't want that to be the onboard. Like,
mm-hmm.
there's not like scary shit very rarely happens on this show. It's fine.
Just honestly, so do like I did. Well, just watch individual episodes. Like start them off with like Darmok. Well, maybe that's too advanced, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like some good individual episodes that are kind of standalone. Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe start with Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Did you think about buying a nubbin bug?
No, well, I wanted to. I didn't check the price because I was just like, you know what, it's going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
I can't justify buying a nubbin bug. I hope they sell out, though. I really do. And then they did, so good for them.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. Like that's like, yeah. Start them with that. Start them with maybe even start them with like when they're a little older, like with Discovery or something, so they don't have the baggage of. Like Discovery is a fine show, but the stuff that came before was better. Not Enterprise, but whatever. The stuff that came before was better. But that's only because I have I was grew up in that time frame, and so I have that mentality and whatever. And I've gone back and revisited it because, visited it for the first time for a lot of it. But it's different. Whereas, Discovery is telling stories that are more contemporary, like contemporary audience level. You know what I mean? Like something they're a little more used to. Whereas, like if you're 10, 11, 12, and you're watching something from 1990, it's like going back and watching. You have to know, all right, you're going back to watch something that's alien to you.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
the other one we had talked about was starting with Voyager. Because Voyager, I mean, it starts off with the DS9 crossover stuff in the Badlands, and if we can just be like, okay, this is gonna be kind of confusing for the first 10 minutes, just go with it, and they're old enough to just kind of like pass through that.
Yeah.
Once they get to the Delta Quadrant, like it's all new stuff, And
yeah.
So it's not a bad onboarding point for Star Trek, honestly.
No, that's true. And you can teach them what happens, or not to go too fast, or they might turn into salamanders.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The worst option would be to start with DS9.
Yeah, which is a shame
or
because
Picard. Picard would be the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Picard. I felt so bad for Picard. Season 1 was actually pretty good, and then it felt like Michael Chabon was kicked out after like 3/4 of the episodes, and then it just got kind of weird. Like Michael Chabon kept it kind of like grounded, and then it just got kind of weird. And in season two's defense, the COVID restrictions didn't help it at all. but also like what the hell? Like there were a lot of scenes that just felt missing or whatever. And then season 3 was like finally the season that people wanted, but also I was like, this is not the Picard that it should be. This is just all right. We fucked up
Season
twice.
3 was season 8 of Next Gen.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fine. Like I was happy to have that and everything, but it was like season 1 was supposed to be about like a legend being old and like giving way to a new generation, ha ha ha, and all that kind of stuff. But then and it kind of did that. But then when they're like, well, now we're going to make it an ongoing series because I think also it was supposed to be like a one and done kind of thing with the possibility of more. But like once Chabon left, it was just like, well, now what if we go back in time, like and have Q and all this kind of stuff? I was like, I just whatever. Yeah, like I liked it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go back and see more than a couple episodes of this show again.
I will say, the thing I did appreciate with them bringing Q in for all the ups and downs of that season, I did like at the end. It was just Q was just lonely and didn't want to die alone, and like he just needed his buddy, and like because Q is so kind of like fuck, he can't just say that. He can't just like. There's a thing about power and masculinity in there, and like Q just cannot just say a thing. He has to fuck with Picard in the way that like he doesn't know how to. Even after all that time, he still doesn't know how to just openly interact with fucking Jean-Luc.
Yeah,
like, dude, you could just say it. Like it's fine.
I liked Q more in the Voyager episodes than in the Next Gen episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's post punishment too. So.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
He had gotten smacked around by the Q a couple times in TNG. So in Voyager, he was more in line.
Yeah, by Corbin Burnson, I think.
Which one was that one? Was that the one that wanted to kill himself?
No. Corbin Burnson. Yeah, Corbin Burnson was another Q in Next Generation, but you only saw him at the end of an episode. But yeah. I really like the one about the Q that wanted to die. Because I want to die. I like. Like we got that in common. Other Q, Quentin.
Yeah, I think you could call him Quinn or Quentin.
Quinn, something like that. Yeah. All right. Well.
Yep.
Shall we talk about the season finale / finale? Yeah. All right. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. Like I said, though, like we mentioned, this could be a coronation or it could be a contest. And as it turns out, it was a coronation all the way.
How about you do the recap for the season finale?
Yeah, well, I was going to do it anyway. It's a much shorter one because really, ultimately, like, look, there's a lot going on, but not a lot actually happens. So it's not that hard to summarize. Speaking of which, not a lot of post-tribal footage. Everyone is just happy to be there, and then we go... Happy to be there, and then we go to Immunity, featuring a downright evil puzzle box and a bat puzzle. Rachel is stymied by the puzzle box, but overcomes a deficit to solve the bat puzzle despite a critical mistake. Sam is sad. Congratulations on $1 million, Rachel. She's upfront with Teenie and Sam that they're making fire. They're the two that are going to make fire. Teenie needs a coach. Sam has no idea what he's doing. But also there's an entire day to practice, and by the end he figures it out. When it comes down to the actual match, Teenie makes one hell of a fire really quickly and efficiently, but gets absolutely guster-fucked by the wind. Sam sacrificed several goats to Aeolus, god of the west wind, and his fire manages to burn through the rope. Final council is the coronation that we all expected. Sam can't make his case, and Sue goes almost unquestioned. It doesn't help that Rachel absolutely bodies Sam after a couple of his answers. Therefore, she wins in a landslide, and Sam earns second place. I say earns because that's the end of the summary. But I say that he earned second place because if you saw him on day one, you would think, oh, this motherfucker is not going to last very long. He is too cocky. And then sure enough, he gets his comeuppance after the merge. And you think, all right, well, it's just a matter of time. But he scraped He clawed his way through. He was targeted a couple of times and managed to hold on or deflect to someone else. He did a lot of things to get through to the end, but there's no way, in my mind, there's no way you could say he played a game like as well as Rachel did.
Yeah, first I want to bring it back a second, and give you a golf clap for Gusterfuck.
Yep. Thank you.
That was wonderful. That was like poetry, my friend.
Yeah. No, I tried.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, go, Brian.
I mean, I'm surprised nobody just. I mean, if I was Sam, I would have just at one point, just during the final tribal, been like, "And yes, Teeny, I understand that the wind lost that challenge for you."
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, okay, yes, the wind played a huge role, but also like she did a good job of starting her fire. That's obviously what she practiced, and she started her fire, and then she built it up a little bit, and then she looked over Rachel and she was like, "What do I do now?" Like,
Yeah.
so at a certain point, she was also just kind of winging it. It's not like Teeny was great. It was definitely a comeback, and it was dramatic and fun to watch, but it's not like Teeny was a fucking fire ace.
Yeah.
Well, but the fire was absolutely, it was touching the
Oh yeah.
the thing that it's supposed to burn before fucking Sam even had any fire.
Yeah.
It was absolutely the wind screwed her.
It was very dramatic, and I love that he got a little bit of a fire go out, and then Sam was just like, "Fuck it, throw everything on, fuck it."
Yeah.
It's all or nothing right now, baby. Let's go.
Okay. I'm glad that he got second place, not fourth place. I think okay, I have nothing against Teeny, but I think she was a goat. And when she said I could see myself winning, I was like, really? Because I can't.
I like that she said at the end too. Like, I can go home now with the belief that if I'd gone there, I would have won. Like, she clearly understood her place better when she got to the final tribal.
That, or potentially she was saying that is in I can tell this is my head canon, is that when she said I could go home with the belief that I would have won, what she's really saying is I know I wasn't going to win, but I don't have to actually lose. Like, I can go home thinking maybe.
Yeah, so, she can tell herself that, and there is no evidence to the contrary.
Yeah,
there is.
So I'm going to
choose evidence to the contrary for Sue.
Yeah. Sue, I don't feel bad for Sue because she did all the things that she wanted to do except for win. Like, she wanted to get to the end. She wanted to prove I still got it. I can do whatever. And so she got all of those things, but also the fact that almost no one even asked her anything just really kind of shows how she did. I forget, did she ever play her idol? Did she play it for herself?
She did. She played it for herself at the last moment possible. She was like, I remember because it was last episode, the episode before. She was like, they're gonna vote for Rachel, so I can hold on to my idol one more. And I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
you're gonna hold on to it for what?
Yeah, and then that's right. She used it when. I believe it was Andy was the last one, right?
Something like that. I don't remember when.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was Genevieve. Oh, my God, I'm so dumb. Yeah, she used it in that one because she knew I'm not going to be the one going home, so it's fine by me. Yeah, okay, I remember now. You're right.
I will say there's a decent chance they did ask Sue more questions.
Oh yeah,
like we're always told this is hours of footage at Final Tribal that gets cut down to like 20 minutes. So I'm sure she got asked a lot of questions, but the stuff we did see was not good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is they try and give you the gist of it. Like, they're going to edit out, they're going to only pick the highlights that represent the entire 5 hours or whatever. And her highlights were, I think I did a really good job.
Yeah, I think I did a really good job. And if I won, I would be the oldest, so that's why you should vote for me. It's like, nope. That's not why we should vote for you. That'd be a thing about you winning, but that's not why we should. Okay.
Well, they have to, their job is to make it seem interesting.
Yeah.
The final time, they know everybody watching knows there was no possible fucking way Sue was winning, so they didn't bother showing them talking to her. Whereas Sam, on the other hand, I agreed with Rachel. Like, fuck, that was actually everything he said was actually really good.
Yeah.
He started convincing me like halfway through. I'm like, shit, Sam.
Sam made a really good case and a couple points too when Rachel made some slip of like, I couldn't get people to follow my strategy, so I had to find other ways to win. He's like, you just said you couldn't get people to listen to you or do what you wanted. And he was like, boom, boom, boom. I was under something that she said like, oh, you know, Sam, you don't know what it was like to be targeted. And he was like, bitch, hold up. And he was like, I was the main target of 4 different tribals. People voted for me 10 times, but I was never on the wrong side of a vote the entire time. Like, it was just like, went down a list of facts that honestly comes from his background, right? Like, if he's a sports reporter or like fantasy sports or whatever, like, it's spitting out statistics to make you view a player a certain way. And like that little moment like really highlighted his background and how like, oh yeah, this is what he does, right? He talks about statistics and gameplay.
I was never really convinced by him the way that you guys are.
I was not convinced, but it was a real good counter argument to be like, okay, yeah, you deserve at least a couple votes, clearly. Not to win, but a couple.
As I recall, I wish I had written down what they were saying, but again, I had to watch it on my tablet because the Paramount Plus app on the PlayStation is still broken. So I couldn't really take notes until it was a commercial break. But he said, fuck, I don't remember. There was, I distinctly remember a point where he said he made a point, and then she completely judo flipped him on it.
Yeah, that happened.
I want to say it was in response to something that Gabe asked, but I don't remember.
Yeah, he was talking about some move, and her and Sue were both like, it wouldn't have mattered. The movie you're talking about, like, it wouldn't have changed what we did. It didn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's when they were talking about when Rachel snuck up on them at the beach.
Yeah,
and Sam was like, but actually we were telling this to Teeny because you wanted the false information and you just snuck up and got false information. And Rachel's like, that's irrelevant. The point was I was the name, right?
Yeah.
And I got that. The details past that are irrelevant, and I'm glad you lied about the details. I got the point that mattered, and I acted on that.
And she learned about something, you know what I mean? Like, or that was the rest of her argument. It's like, and I learned about this, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Teeny made that point for her that Teeny told them about her block of vote.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah. I don't know. I think she had a very good counsel. I think Sam acquitted himself pretty well. I think Sue didn't do anything wrong.
But it just highlights that there wasn't anything right about her game because she had nothing.
Yeah, that's what's a little frustrating. Like, I wish. Well, if it had been Genevieve that got through, then we would have like a real challenge, and I'm curious to see who would have won. But I still think it would have been Rachel. But and chiefly because I think Genevieve annoyed people on the jury, or they resented her just enough that they may like her, but they like Rachel more and they respect her game more. But it would have been interesting to see. I'm trying to think who else would have been. Like Saul, do you think?
It's too hard to say with people like Sierra and Saul. Like, they were gone too early. I don't know how they would have navigated the later parts of the game.
And like Caroline, unless she managed to
pull some shit out.
lawyer her way through, I don't think she would have gotten many votes. So yeah, it really ultimately is a matter of like, who other than Sue, who would you like to have seen as a third place finisher?
I mean, I definitely like Caroline. I would have been fine with her getting to the end. But yeah, you got to have at least one goat, and I think Rachel was hoping to go with Teeny and Sam to go with 2 goats, but she ended up just getting 1. I'm sorry, Rachel was hoping to go with Teeny and Sue, and she ended up with Sue and Sam, and that's fine. I think the thing that Rachel did really well in the final tribal that made it irrelevant whether she brought Sam or Teeny was that she owned her game. She was like, this is the game that I played, and I played it well, and none of you could do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, you all tried to do things about it, and it did not work.
To address the point that you bring up a lot, I bring up saying, no, the fire's not that important unless, you have to, is she said, like, yeah, I know I could have done it, but I want immunity. Why should I have to?
Yes.
Like, she owned it in a way that whoever it was last season didn't.
Yep. Exactly. I appreciate she did that up front. She was like, somebody brought it up, or she brought it up herself. I don't remember which, but I was like, thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel clearly knows the implication of giving up your immunity to do fire yourself. And she was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made it very clear. She said, like, I've already won 4 challenges. How is winning one more going to prove anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I will say, though, I think she could have won the fire pretty easily, especially against Sam, now knowing what we know. So it would have been interesting to see. Like, I kind of wish she had just dominated, but hey, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I always like when it started to become a common argument. Why didn't you give it up, or were you afraid of blah blah blah? When it became a common argument, I was annoyed because like I agree with Rachel's point. Like, you fucking won the challenge to get you here. You earned the privilege to not do fire by winning that challenge. Like, why is the expectation that you do double challenges back to back? Like, where is that? Like, it's stupid. And I appreciate that she came out and said that to squash that from the jury's mind, and she did it pretty effectively.
Winning the fire is something that somebody who does not have a resume needs to do. I have a resume of having tied or exceeded the record for
5-way tie for 4.
Yeah. I have tied for the most wins by a woman. I played my idols throughout. I survived when you guys thought you were going to get me. I never showed too much hubris in the middle of the game onward, like early on. And she admitted, like, yeah, early on my game was not as good as I thought it was, and so I had to step it up. And she did. And it's like, yeah, so good for her. Good for her.
I think I want to say I think 2 of her highlight moments in the final tribal was, one, I appreciated Andy being like, you and I have conversations about how your least favorite winners are Mike Holloway and Ben Drybergen, who won by crushing immunity challenges. And here you are having crushed immunity challenges and walking in with idols. Like, how do you reconcile that? Like, are you going to be a shitty winner too? Like, in the record?
Yeah.
Like, reconcile this for me. And she does a pretty good job. She was like, I didn't want to play this game, but you get what's handed to you, and I fucking crushed it. So shut up.
Yeah. It's like, well, what should I have done? Lost the challenges that I could have won? No.
Yeah. The other one is that she chose to highlight as well, like, last episode we were talking about Andy's ham-fisted attempt at jury management, right? Trying to like explain to Rachel all the ways that he played a great game on her way out, right? So she could then go to the jury and tell them. I appreciated that Rachel's form of jury management was getting everybody else to talk about how awesome she was because they thought she was going out, and then playing her idol. Like, she's like, I had my opponents do my jury management for me.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
Fantastic. And I appreciate like that. I like that she chose one strong play to spike the ball on instead of 2 or 3, because we know she had more, right? She didn't mention how she played the shot in the dark as a test, right? She never mentioned her shot in the dark play, or how she was able to use hers this season and fucking nobody else did. And she also didn't mention how, like, people talked about how she got an idol in the fries.
Yeah.
But she didn't talk about how the idol wasn't in the fries. The idol was in the middle of fucking camp, and she got it in broad daylight with everybody there.
Yeah, right? The clue was in the
fries. She did very quickly mention that.
She mentioned it. She got it in camp when it was like, but the idea, like, she could have gone in detail. Like, I had to get a machete and cut it out of the tarp that you were all sitting under in broad daylight. Like, there's a level of ballsiness in there that deserves some credit, and I think would have gotten the vote from Kyle maybe.
Yeah. Plus, we're catching the abridged version. She may have given her litany of deeds at some point. I'm sure everyone had to give their litany at And so she probably did mention that, but it didn't make the cut because it's like, you know what? Let's have, instead of a whole list of things, let's just have one specific thing that we'll put in here that we'll save in the edit. So yeah. I gotta say, I really liked. So they always do the part where they have the jurors talk about the person to camera, but I like the way that they did it this time, intercutting back and forth with also how Sue and Rachel and Sam were going to deal with them. You know what I mean? Like remembering that person's play. So it had the best elements of that whole walk where they pick up the torches, and it had the testimonial from the players or the jurors. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, this is a much better version of that.
I skipped past that. I don't know.
That's too bad, because like that actually was like that was not modeling. You know what I mean? It was the discussion that they were having was like, who do you think they're going to vote for, and do you think you can get their vote? And then it would be the jurors saying, this person could possibly get my vote if they explain. For instance, someone was saying, if Sue can explain, was her loyalty strategy loyal from the beginning, or was it she had to keep jumping around, or little things like that was kind of nice to touch. Yeah, like did she fall into it on accident, or was she purposeful about it? And so no, I
think that was Gabe articulated that, which makes sense because Gabe went to Sue looking for Sue. Sue didn't go to Gabe, so Gabe was like, I kind of know what's going on here.
Yeah. Who do you think had the best question of the jurors?
The only one I remember off the top of my head is Andy's.
You remember Saul's?
No, what one was Saul's?
Oh, well, I remembered it mostly because I was looking at his hands. I was like, first of all, he's got big old mitts, but he had hello rings and he painted his nails. And I was like, this man is really good looking. Good for him. But his question that I thought was really interesting was, and it could just be the editing, but he was asking Rachel, I know you did this, I know you did that, I know that these are the moves that you made. Now please tell me something that I don't know about your game. And then he may have asked the others about it, and I forget what her answer was, but it was a pretty good answer. It's funny. It's almost like I watched this an hour ago. I finished the episode, and then I immediately started watching The Boys, and so it's just funny that already I'm kind of forgetting a lot of the pieces. The other question that I really liked, and I forget if it was Gabe or it was Caroline who asked it. I want to say it was Caroline, but she just straight up asked, what was a mistake that you made? And everyone gave a good mistake. I really like that because it's forcing people to answer a question not in the job interview way of, my mistake was I worked too hard or anything like that. Like, no, yeah, I thought that was a very good way of asking that question.
No, that's exactly why I hated that question, because it was just a stupid fucking interview question.
No. That's the thing, though, is
just because they didn't answer it like that doesn't mean that it wasn't the same fucking idea behind that fucking question.
But also in this the problem is in a job interview context, if I ask that question and somebody gives me the answer, I just tend to work too hard, like I can't call them on their bullshit. Right?
Yeah,
there's a little decorum that I can't break. In this setting, the jury is openly invited to break that decorum and ask a follow-up question. And be like, I'm sorry, that sounded like bullshit. Try again. Right? They're allowed to have that deeper dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. Win me over.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway,
in this context, it's fine.
Yeah. And at any rate, she won 7-1, so it was not even close by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, continuing tradition of landslides for the most part.
Yeah, we had a couple recently that weren't, but this was that. But again, Coronation, she played an excellent game, and I don't think that anyone else who was still there could beat her. Maybe, for instance, as you were saying, had Sierra gotten to the end, she would have made moves that would have paralleled and given her points in relation. You know what I mean? So maybe it would have been closer, but really only Genevieve, and even then I think she would lose on the social aspect.
Yeah, I think the more interesting counter might have been Andy. Just because they played very different games. Sam played a very different game too, but Sam didn't do it with as much autonomy. I feel like Andy did what he wanted to do until it bit him in the ass,
Yeah. Andy was Rome, but successful.
Yeah, and I think it would have been fun to see his final travel, but not to be.
he's another one of those ones. I think he fell into the right spot. Maybe he should have been fourth, but yeah, he was fifth. Whatever, that's fine. And I think that Genevieve played better. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
ultimately, Andy would have not had his answers to his questions would not have been great.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Teeny's little speech about her awkward rivalry with one-way rivalry with Sam?
Well,
there's
I know
there's a lot of internet commentary about how it's incredibly cringe.
I know Brian's gonna hate it. I'm gonna say, yeah, no, well, here's the thing. It is cringe, but also it's like, you know what? First of all, number one, she's 23. She deserves to be cringe because we were all cringe when we were 23.
Yeah.
And the fact that at 42 I am saying cringe is cringe. I realize that. So, whatever. But also it's like it was a moment for her. It was a moment of self acknowledgement that like, yeah, you know what? He didn't do anything wrong. Like, I have had this rivalry with him, and he doesn't think about me at all. It's all in my friggin' head. So I got to just get over that. And for me personally, what I liked was when they sat down, first thing she did was good luck, shake hands. You know what I mean? It's like this whole rivalry, which we've seen before, which in my opinion was more cringe. Like when she wasn't taken to that reward feast, or a couple other times she said things. So I was like,
this episode, even when Rachel was like, "I'm going to make Teeny do it," and Sam said, well, I don't even remember what Sam said.
Oh, I remember. He said, you're gonna make me do fire. And it's kind of like, I understand especially I understand what he meant by it, but also when he was saying it, I was like, this smarmy ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? But really he was like, oh shit, I don't know. Yeah. Like I thought when he was saying, it's a good thing I didn't practice making fire, like I was like, come on, man. Don't be an asshole. And then when it turns out, oh shit, he really didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, now Brian, you can say whatever. I know you hated it, but you can say why.
No, I was going to say I actually didn't hate it. It wasn't cringe because she was actually self-aware. Yeah. She actually knew that she was projecting onto him and he didn't actually do anything. That was good.
Oh my God, we're on the same page.
Yeah. And I appreciate that she articulated it too. A lot of people just keep it to themselves and be quiet. She was like, no, I've got a rivalry and it's 100% from my own baggage and I'm going to air it out here for everybody and we'll see what the fuck happens now.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I just like, here's the thing. Because like, again, we all say and think and do stupid shit at 23 because we don't like, good judgment comes from experience and experience comes from bad judgment. And so the fact that she recognized her bad judgment and grew from it right then and there and basically did her own therapy, it's like, good for her. I like her. Between her and Sue, I think I would rather have Teeny get third place, but definitely Sam deserves second over her. So yeah.
For a while, I was like, Sam, motherfucker, how did you not even practice fire making? Like, not even in the old version of Survivor, right? Like, there's so many reasons that you should have practiced before you came out. Like, the old way of Survivor, like, I'm going out to live on a beach with strangers. Survival, like, a key piece of survival in any context is knowing how to make a fire, right? Like, just from camp life perspective, how did you not learn it? But then also, new era, so much of the jury's view relies on fire making. How the fuck did, like, Gabler might have won $1 million because of his fire making. How the fuck did you not at least practice?
Yeah.
God damn it, Sam. I was so pissed at him.
Weren't those knives cool as hell?
Yeah, stuck in the tree. That was pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, always. I say always learn how to make fire, but then I remember even as I was watching it being like, I think if I got cast on this show, I don't think I would learn how to make fire until I got out there. That said, I mean, I would observe the person making fire and ask, like, "Oh, so how's this work? Can I give it a try or something?"
You would
So
at least
I would
practice
do
out
that.
there, right?
Yeah, but like when these people are like, "Oh yeah, I sit in my backyard and I just make fire all day, blah blah blah, whatever," I'm like, "Yeah, that ain't me, dog."
Oh, that's fine. But Sam was at Final Four and said he'd barely even touched Flint since he
Yeah.
got there. Like, you have fuck all not like okay, before you go, fine, you got real life still, but you have fuck all to do there half the time.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Well, okay. Let's go over how do you make fire?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna be on Survivor.
Well, but that's my point. Like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna be on it either, but like, I feel like okay, so I get the gist of it, right? You like shave off one side of the brick of flint, and then there's another side that has like
Magnesium.
a metal
you shave
strip.
off some magnesium.
Yeah, but like there's a metal strip on the other side.
Yeah.
So you get the magnesium onto like the hessian or whatever, the twine or whatever, and then you strike the other side with the metal strip until a spark catches, and then you add kindling. Like I would need practice to get it down efficiently, but like yeah, I mean, I'll give Sam the benefit of the doubt here. It was poor planning on his part. But that crash course that he gave himself is like you get the gist of it, and then you just kind of do it.
No, he was out there for 26 days.
I mean, he did win.
I
Yeah.
know. But the whole montage where he was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He goes against the letter and is like, just don't give up. Just you need more heart, Falco. Whatever bullshit. Like, God, the whole time I was pissed at him. Like, how did you not cry once in a corner somewhere?
It's boring. You got more important things to do. Like think about sports.
Go back and forth with Metallica band names and Taylor Swift band names. We've seen what they do
I mean,
most of the time out there.
But remember, this is the guy who like just tried most fruits for the first time ever while he was out there.
He's also a baby, right? He's like 24, 25?
Let me see. I got it right up here. 25.
I don't think so.
25,
Is he
yeah.
that young?
25? 24.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, here,
I can't believe
24. He's 24.
I am shocked and amazed that Teeny was born the year that the first season came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We old.
I know she's not the youngest player ever. We've had 18-year-olds, but is she the latest born, most recently born? If that makes sense.
Oh, I don't know.
No. I mean, she's the same age as Sam, so.
No, she's 23. He's 25.
No, they're both 24.
No, they're both 24.
I'm looking at the graphic right now. They're both 24.
Because she was saying she was 20. She might be 24 now, but she was saying she was 23 during the final tribal council.
Yeah, it depends on. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when her birthday
I
is.
mean, it's picking nits.
Okay. Well, no, sorry. The nit that I'm mainly picking is that I'm not insane saying she was 23. Like,
Okay.
I totally understand when you say that they are the same age now. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, okay.
What do you guys think of the final challenge being a physical plus puzzle and not a concentration challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need to see sim motion again, which is like the circle track thing with the balls that come out. I don't need to see that every time. I did like the Plinko machine thing from last season, where they like chuck the ball up and then catch it when it comes down and then chuck it up. But I feel like when you do a puzzle at the end, you already know who's going to win the puzzle most of the time, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I
But
saw
I mean,
the puzzle, I was like,
it was like a 10-piece puzzle. It's not like, it was one of the like really difficult ones.
And still, as soon as I saw the puzzle, I was like, Rachel's going to win this. And then lo and fucking behold, Rachel won.
Well, when she was staring at those that's why I said I should have mentioned this earlier, but that's why I said that was an evil ass puzzle box. By giving them just a bunch of jumbly old letters, and then the answer is unlock, because it's what do you want to do, and it's just like, oh yeah, I want to unlock this thing. Like that is some Monkey Island level of thought that I really appreciated in it. And she was just stymied, and Sam was smart. He was like, I got it. I'm going to throw this thing over it so that they can't see it and ride that to the end. And he almost did, but he just could not do the puzzle. And even at that, like, you know, I mean, Rachel messed up, like, and that was a very that was a very hard mistake to notice and correct, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the moment, you're like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? It's hard to realize, you put the right thing in the right spot. You just put it in there backwards. Yeah. So he could have caught up, but I like what Jeff was saying. It's like, look, if you're looking at her, then you're not doing your puzzle. So
that just means you're behind.
Yeah. Unless it was the puzzle box, because again, fuck that shit.
Yep. Brian, did you watch the after show?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I always watch that. What are you talking about? You're the one who doesn't watch it. What are you talking about?
I watch it and I just hate it every time. I still don't like it.
That was kind of... I mean, I liked this one more because it wasn't... Like, I feel like the people who got second and third place understood why they got second and third place and were okay with it. And so it wasn't like, God, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't Carolyn just in shock.
Yeah, or last season, fucking Charlie in shock.
Yeah. So this was actually a good one where they asked good questions and gave good feedback. For me, though, did you guys watch the preview for next season?
Yeah. All of those people look like really conceited douchebags.
Yeah.
You said that
for me, I was just...
too.
Wow.
I was watching it and I was thinking, why are like this looks like every other season? Like that's my issue with the preview now, that it's always the same function and the same everything and same island. Is like it's the same island and it's a whole bunch of people I don't know. The only thing I learned is that there is an autistic physicist. You know, it's like, okay, cool. Like, all right, great.
It's not the location that makes it repetitive for you. It's that the previews are repetitive. There's always going to be a medevac teaser. There's always going to be that's historic, or I never saw that coming from Jeff.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be a teaser of a sob story or DEI story. I don't mean DEI and the anti-woke, whatever. But you know what I mean.
Right. I know what you mean. Like
because that's a big push Survivor is having in the new era to make sure they have more balanced representation in their cast, which I love, but they also feel like they need to highlight it all the time.
I get why I'm okay with them highlighting it, because look,
right, but
subtlety
that becomes part of the teaser formula, you know.
Yeah, no, that's true. For me though, like I think about, and maybe it's more hindsight again, but like the season with Carolyn and Yam Yam and Jam, and all of them, like that teaser started different, because remember that teaser started with Caroline just looking at the camera and going like, so what do I do? And then you hear him off camera, the producer going like, just talk, and she's like, oh, okay, or whatever. And like it had a feel. It gave you an idea for what the season was going to be,
because Caroline had a feel.
Yeah, I still love her.
Me too. I really hope.
Yeah.
I doubt she's going to come back for 50, but I would love it if she came back for 50.
Yeah. All right, is there anything anyone wants to add, or are we going to close the book on this and move on to fantasy?
Yeah, I want to add, you know what I just noticed this time? It's obviously been the same every time they've been not doing the reunion live. But I'm like, when Jeff is like, you know, here, now we're going to show you a preview for the next season. It hasn't happened yet
right.
for him. Like, he has absolutely no idea what it's going to be.
Yep.
I think that's funny.
Yeah. That is really funny because, they start filming it right afterwards. So he throws to it and then must pause for like 2-3 seconds, then just turn to everyone and go, all right, well, it's the clip package is airing now.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving
all right. Well, So now you should tell me any bets that you haven't already told me that I had. Just let me know the rest.
Yeah, there's only 3 bets we had left over, but we're going to fantasy. If you want to see all the bets, you can go to oooshow.com. On the left, click on the link that says fantasy. I'll have all the bets there. We're just going to talk about the ones that ended this episode. They didn't resolve. There was $1 million Deadpool. I was still in it. I had Rachel, but she never said $1 million anything. Nick, you had Teeny in the touchy-feely Deadpool. And she never said anything about coming out for an adventure or making friends or whatever. She talked about playing with her emotion, but she never said any of that touchy-feely shit. Nick, you also had Sam for the not here to make friends Deadpool, and that did not happen either for him.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
In the Liz pool, who will have a freak out, Brian had Sam, and I had Rachel, and neither one of those happened. And like those are both bad choices.
Who did I have?
You had Rome.
Oh, that was
which was a great choice, I want to say.
Yeah.
But
he freaked out, but not like I.
He did not have the Liz freak out.
Yeah, it was not the Liz freak out. He freaked out, but it was not the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah, all the other over-unders, episode numbers, leftovers, all that kind of stuff, that's already all resolved.
Yeah.
So we did not have any points resolved in this final episode, which is something. Oh, actually, we did have. Where is it? We do have one. Sorry. My bad. We had a season 40 several about whether or not Jeff was going to make a 40 several comment in honor of Jelinski. I said yes. Brian and Nick both said no. It's not going to matter, but I'll add the points.
Yeah, well, it means Brian's going to win by more.
And it means you got points this week, because, Nick, you came in the week with no players, and the only points you got this week were from that bet. So that's 3 onto your 75, giving you 78. I came in the week in second place. I had Zombie Gabe and Jeff and Sam. Sam only got me, I did the math wrong, only got me 3 points because he won the fire making challenge and then got a vote in Final Tribal. So that's 3 points. So that puts me at 85. And Brian, unfortunately, you had Teeny and she was eliminated. So she got you 0 points. I'm also giving you Sue for 0 because she would never in a situation where she could have received votes. So she didn't do shit. She also gets you 0 points. It just says she didn't give you shit on the notes. But luckily for you, Rachel got you 15 points this episode because she won a challenge, is sole survivor, and got 7 votes at Final Travel. So that's 15 onto your 94, giving you 112. So Brian, you won with 112. I'm in second with 85. Nick in last with 78. And this breaks the tie. Brian, now you have more.
You are the acting champion.
Yeah, you have 7, and Nick and I both have 6. And this is a back-to-back win for you. I am the one who is due. I haven't won since season 43, so we'll see what happens there. Who was season 43's winner?
That was the.
Keep this straight. I
don't remember anymore. I
Gabler?
know it wasn't.
Oh, it's fucking. I won the fucking Gabler season. No. No.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Oh, son of a bitch.
What's funny is I would have sworn up and down a stack of Bibles that Gabler was pre-pandemic season, but
that's the only new era win I have is the fucking Gabler season.
And that was not a good season.
No, Nick, for what's worth, you do have 3 of the 6 new era seasons now.
Yeah,
so
I had I was suffering, and then I had a little run, so I feel pretty good.
Yeah. I gotta win next season. I gotta win 50. That's what I gotta win.
I'm gonna win, just like my idol Wario says. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about transitioning some of the bets into points? So
no, well,
$1 million Deadpool, we can have $1 million point, and not here make friends point.
We'll go over that closer to in our drafting episode for the next season. We got it on the books. Hey people, there's gonna be a change to how you earn points. Oh my gosh.
Nobody plays with us. It's fine.
Yeah, nobody plays with us, and the people who do play on Facebook, and their rules are crazy and weird, and I don't want to replicate them.
It's too much work,
and they're really inconsistent about it too. Like, I would always hit a point where it would not tell me to set a new lineup, and so I wouldn't, and then I'd just be like, well, now I'm just out for the entire season, the rest of the season. And you might think, well, you should just go find it. And here's the problem. I couldn't fucking find it because Facebook's algorithm is so crazy stupid that even if you search for Survivor Fantasy Game in their little search bar, it still wouldn't show up. So
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah,
I hate algorithms.
I'm like 90% off Facebook at this point.
Here's the crazy thing. I'm on Facebook more now because there's a handful of people that I don't see except through Facebook, and I'm off Twitter. And I like Blue Sky. Blue Sky's good, but like my friends or my family's not on Blue Sky, so I'm just like, all right, well, I got to get on that if I want to talk to family. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not on Instagram. Anyway, listener, tell us what you're not on. Whatever. That's my way of saying we're done for the season. 47, good season, 5 season. Give you guys thumbs up, thumbs down reviews. I say thumbs up.
Yeah, good season.
Mm-hmm.
Even though at
All
the end
right.
we knew it was going to be Rachel, it was still a fun watch.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like sometimes it like she deserved it, so I'm glad that they didn't put in fake suspense. They're just like, look, you know what? This is what Sam said, and you can decide for yourself if you deserved 1 vote or 2 votes. But she definitely deserved.
Red herrings here.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. All right, good. We all give it a thumbs up. That makes it the greatest season that's ever happened.
Nope.
So we will see everyone for Survivor 48. I don't know anything about it other than it's on Fiji, and there's a guy with a beard and a guy with muscles who drinks a lot of chocolate milk. So we'll see you later. Goodbye. Hooray!
I forgot the chocolate milk guy.
Yeah, that guy's he's gonna lose those muscles. There ain't
like,
no chocolate milk.
There was remember there was an old guy who had just massive guns and fucking sucked at every single challenge.
I don't remember that at all.
I'm sure there was. Same season as Brandon.
Yeah, I don't
remember that.
Oh, way back in the day.
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah, no, I don't remember that. All right, well, I'm gonna finish my episode of The Boys and then go to bed. So I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.